Dear ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to the IBU webinar about the new feature of the IBU online tool. If you have questions, please write them in the chat. I will try to answer them in the end of the meeting if we have time for it. What is the new feature? It's about transferring bilingual datasets into the Ökobaudat. What is it? The Ökobaudat is a database from the German Ministry, BMUB, for LCA data of construction products. The database is mainly used for the German market in green building schemes. What is new? EPDs which exist in German and English can be transferred as one bilingual dataset into the Ökobaudat. It can be done from now on. When will the dataset be published in the Ökobaudat? All datasets which have been prepared for the transfer until the 10th of January 2017 will be transferred after it. When the data is published at the Ökobaudat, IBU has unfortunately no influence on that time, but we will transfer the data sets after the 10th of January. What if I have only an English EPD? Unfortunately, then it's not possible to transfer it into the Ökobaudat. This is not possible yet. This has no technical reason, but political reasons. But IBU is working on it, that we find a solution for it. So that was a short introduction, and now we are going to the work, how it is done. First of all, you're going to the dashboard of your dashboard if you're logged in into the EPD-Online tool. Important is the EPD has to be published. So we have to choose a published EPD, and we can work with this. And first we use the German EPD. We open the German EPD. Then please have a look at users if you have the right privilege for it. The right privilege has to be responsible or administrator into the EPD. If you don't have one of these privileges, please contact us, we can change it. So now we open the dialog for the transfer. This is this button in the right corner. And the first steps I show you are actually the normal steps for preparing the German EPD as a data set for the Ökobaudat transfer. So now the dialog for the transfer is opened, and we have to fill out some sections. The first is the geographical representativeness. There you choose the country or the region where the EPD is valid. In this case it's Germany. Then we have the reference flow data set. This will be important if you have an update of your EPD. So after your EPD is after 5 years invalid and you have a new EPD, then you have to choose the reference flow. For the first transfer, you can ignore that field. But very important is the classification level. There you have to choose in which category you will be found in Ökobaudat. In this case it's wood. Unfortunately this is not in English, but this is a case of Ökobaudat. I am already talking to them that they translate that as well. So, but this is the categories, you have the classification. Please start at level 1, and it is important that you choose all levels. If you don't fit in a level for you, then please contact us. Next would be the copyright. There you can choose yes or no. This is just a field which have to be done. I don't know what it's doing actually. Owner of the dataset is your company or your association. And you just can search in that drop-down menu and choose you. If you don't find your company, leave that field open. We will do it later on. Then we have additional documents of the dataset. This is if you have public attachments. public attachments, you can choose them and also attach them into the data set for the Ökobaudat. So, for example, a safety data sheet or an LCA annex that will be visible then in Ökobaudat as well. Then we have the technology description and included processes. There's a tooltip which show you please enter a short description of material system inclusive a previous description of the manufacturing process. You have to fill in that by hand, or it is already on the last page in the EPD of the EPD-Online-Tool, but this is just a few. There's a possibility, but if you don't have filled it out, then you have to type the text in here. I just type in a test. Then we have declared product, declared area, declared unit. That should be filled out automatically. If it's not filled out automatically, also contact us. If you have any problems with it, just give us a call or write us an email. So next is we can type of declared data. There you can choose generic, which is not relevant for all IBU EPDs, but representative, average, specific, or template. In this case, it's specific. The review institution is always IBU. The data entry is made by the LCA also, but I'm choosing IBU in this case. And then we came to name of default scenario, name of scenario 1, 2, and 3. These are only relevant if you have declared more than one scenario. For example, for the end of life, you have 2 scenarios, one for 100% thermal recovery and one for 100% recycling. Then you would have 2 options to write in, and then please name which scenario is which. If you don't have declared scenarios more than or double scenarios, then you don't have to declare here anything. So if you're done with that, you just have to agree the terms and conditions, which you can open with a click on that link. But I won't open it yet. You just click agree, and then you save. So the saving process takes a little bit, or pretty fast actually. If you have done that, congratulations, you have prepared your German EPD for the transfer in the Ökobaudat. Forget a short thing. Anyway, if you have saved it and you click the button again, you can open it again and change some things. In the meantime, I got the question, if the validation region is more than one country, how this can be realized. In this drop-down menu, which I showed you, you also can choose regions like DACH or like European Union. This is also possible. So the German model is now successfully prepared for the Ökobaudat. So now we are open the English EPD. So it's the English version of the same EPD actually, the translation of it. Here we again choose the dialog for preparing the data into the Ökobaudat, and then it's pretty easy. This is processing English data set, and then we choose link data set. Independent data set is, like I showed, is not possible at the moment, but we are working on it. So now you have to choose the link data set, and now it's pretty easy. You just choose the EPD you just prepared, the German one, by name. In my case, it's the dummy EPD. And then I have again to translate what I just typed in the other EPD in German. Now I have to type it in English. Test is the same. I don't have declared scenarios, so I don't have to give the name. If you have declared scenarios, you have to describe them in English now. And if you have done it, you just click I agree the terms and conditions of Ökobaudat, and then you click on Save. And now you have successfully created or prepared a bilingual dataset for the Ökobaudat. So that dataset will be published into the Ökobaudat as one dataset. Oh. And you can choose the language. It will be the same dataset, but it is just in one language. I was pretty fast with the presentation right now, so we have time for the questions which came, or if you all also have some additional questions. There is one special question, which is of one specific EPD model, which is asked, it cannot be transferred right now. That is right, because these EPDs are just existing in English. What is the difference between default and normal scenario? Actually, there is no difference. The default scenario is just what you declared as a scenario. It's also the normal scenario. Important is if you have more than one scenarios. Like I explained, if you declare two different end-of-life scenarios, for example, one for thermal recovery and one for recycling, then you have to describe which is which. Like if you have C11 and C12, then you have to describe which one is the is which. Then we have a question about mutual recognition EPDs. If the EPDs were developed at IBU, then it's not a problem. If it's EPDs which come from a mutual recognition to IBU, this is not really possible, because to make this transfer to the Ökobaudat, you need your EPD created in the online tool, because then it's the only way it's machine readable. And then we have a small request that it makes no sense that only English EPDs cannot be transferred to Ökobaudat. That's right, but I told this is not a technical reason. If you see, technically it would be possible right now, but it's a political reason that the Ökobaudat needs everything also in German. But we as IBU working on it. Also, maybe for information, there's a European project which is called Working Group in Data, and the goal of this project is to establish at least European database, in which then also English datasets, of course, will be accepted. IBU is one of the front runners in that project, and we hopefully will manage it in the next year, that we can also make just English existing EPDs into XML files, which are then usable for any other cases. So we were pretty fast. If you don't have any more questions, I would close this meeting, and for all of you, a nice day, and if we don't talk to each other, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Oh, there's a last question about the PowerPoint. The PowerPoint just was 2 slides, but the whole movie or the whole presentation is just recorded, and we will publish it at our homepage, I think, this week.